All right, so everyone's talking about Tesla's version 13, and you want to know what's got everyone so excited. Well, we're going to break it all down for you today. In our deep dive into Tesla's latest full self-driving software, we'll cover what's new, what it all means, and why this is important even if you don't drive a Tesla.
Well, the first thing that really stands out to me is Tesla's focus on hardware for developing FSD. It's the platform for the future of FSD, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about everyone who has a Tesla with hardware 3? Are they just left behind?
Not necessarily. Tesla said they're working on bringing driverless features to those cars, too. They might even replace the FSD computer on hardware 3 cars. It might take a little longer for those upgrades, but it seems Tesla hasn't forgotten about them.
That's good to know. So even older Teslas could still be robotaxis one day. But let's talk about version 13. What makes it so different from what we've seen before?
This is where it gets really interesting. Version 13 is the first FSD model that was completely trained on hardware 4 data. They're using Tesla's Cortex supercomputer. It's like a network of tons of really powerful processors all working together.
So it's like the car is getting a major brain upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And not only is it learning from a different data set, the model itself is much bigger now. It's actually 3 times bigger than the last version. So the car's ability to process information and make sense of the world around it has just jumped massively forward.
Wow, there's a lot to think about there. But how will drivers actually experience that on the road? Or should I say riders? What will they notice is different?
One of the biggest changes you'll see is in how the car reacts to everything around it. Version 13 should be much smoother and more responsive because of something they're calling improved reward predictions. Basically, the car is getting much better at knowing what actions are safe and effective, which means less jerky movements and more confident decisions.
So less slamming on the brakes or swerving at the last minute? That sounds pretty good to me.
Definitely. And they're also starting to use the car's microphones now, so it can detect sirens and things and respond to emergency vehicles even faster.
Wait, so the car's listening now too? That's pretty cool. But also kind of creepy.
It's just another way for the car to be more aware,
Yeah.
especially in situations that are really important.
Okay, I get it. But let's be honest here. One of the biggest problems for people with FSD has been parking. Will version 13 finally fix that?
Tesla is definitely trying to solve the parking lot problem with this update. They've totally redesigned how the car controls itself, so it can track more smoothly and be more accurate in tight spaces. They even added the ability to shift into reverse in those tough situations.
Finally. I can't tell you how many times I've been nervous watching my Tesla try to squeeze into a parking spot. So version 13 could make parking a lot less stressful. But what about the bigger picture? Is this a step toward cars that can really drive themselves, like from start to finish?
That's where things get super exciting. With version 13, Tesla is adding features that really point toward a future where cars are fully autonomous. You can tell the car exactly where you want it to go. Pull over, park in a specific spot, go up a driveway, even park in the garage.
Hold on a sec. You're saying I could get dropped off at work and my car could drive itself home and park?
That's the idea. And it's not just for convenience. Imagine what this means for ride-sharing delivery services, even public transportation.
Wow, that's a lot to imagine. Okay, let's be realistic. We've heard a lot of hype about self-driving cars before. Should we really expect version 13 to be like robotaxis right away?
Well, it's important to keep expectations realistic. Version 13 is a huge step forward, but fully driverless cars are still in the future. This is more like the foundation they'll build on.
So we're seeing what could be possible, but not the finished product yet.
Right. There's still a lot more testing and real-world data they need. But what's exciting is that Tesla seems to be proving that fully autonomous driving can really be done.
And I bet those dot updates will help with that, right?
Definitely. Just like with the other versions, Tesla will keep making version 13 better over time. They'll look at the data from drivers and make small updates to fix any problems that come up.
That makes sense. I've heard that version 13 is supposed to fix those times when the cameras get blocked. What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's right. One of the improvements is better handling of camera occlusions. That means when something blocks the car's view.
Like when a bug gets stuck on your backup camera. I've had that happen. What does version 13 do about that? Does it just stop working?
Oh, no. They're focused on 2 things: better camera cleaning and better data interpretation. For cleaning, it might just be something like a better way to clear water or dirt off the lenses. But the data interpretation is really cool.
Tell me more.
So imagine the car sees that one of his cameras is blocked. Maybe a tree branch is in the way. The car doesn't just give up. It uses AI to figure out what's missing, based on what the other cameras see and what it knows about its surroundings.
So it's like the car's thinking to make up for its blind spot.
Exactly. It's all about making the system more flexible and reliable.
Which makes sense if the goal is truly driverless cars. It can't let a little bit of dirt stop it.
Right. And that makes me think about a bigger question. What happens when these cars really can drive themselves? What does that mean for all of us?
Whoa. You're making me think about the future now.
Think about it. If self-driving cars become normal, it could change everything from how we get to work to how we design cities.
Okay, let's break that down a bit. What are some of the good things we could see?
Well, first of all, safety. Most car accidents are caused by human mistakes. Self-driving cars could remove that risk and make the roads a lot safer.
That's a big deal. So many accidents happen because people are distracted or make mistakes.
Yeah. And there's also the potential for things to be more efficient. Imagine a world with no traffic jams, where your commute is shorter, and parking isn't a problem anymore. Self-driving cars could make traffic flow better, so we waste less time and gas.
And that would be better for the environment, too. Less stop-and-go traffic means less pollution.
Exactly. And for people with disabilities or who can't drive easily, self-driving cars could give them so much more independence.
So it's not just about having cool new technology. It's about making life better for a lot of people. But I'm sure there are some downsides, too, right?
Of course. If everyone starts using self-driving cars, it brings up a lot of complicated questions. What about all the people whose jobs depend on driving, like truck drivers, taxi drivers, delivery drivers?
Yeah, that's a good point. We have to think about how to help those people.
We also need to think about the ethics of it all. How do we teach these cars to make the right decisions in situations where someone could get hurt? And what about cybersecurity? Could someone hack a self-driving car and cause an accident?
Well, that sounds like something out of a movie. But I guess it's something we have to consider.
It is. We're talking about changing how we think about transportation.
Yeah.
It's not just about the technology. It's about the rules and ethics we need to create around it.
So while the tech is really cool, we have to be careful and think about the consequences.
Exactly. We need to embrace new ideas. But we also need to make sure those ideas are used responsibly.
Which is what makes all of this so interesting. It's not just about cars. It's about the future of our society.
Yeah.
It really makes you think this isn't just about code and sensors and stuff. This is about changing the world in a big way.
And that's why it's so important to talk about this now. While the technology is still being developed, we have to think about the good and the bad and try to make sure this technology helps everyone.
So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go back to version 13 for a minute. What are the big things our listeners should know?
Well, the main thing is, version 13 shows that Tesla is really serious about making fully autonomous driving a reality. They're making a lot of progress in safety and making the system more responsive and fixing those annoying things that drivers deal with every day.
Like trying to park in a busy lot. Or those times when your car slams on the brakes for no reason. We've all been there. So even if we aren't all using robotaxis tomorrow, it sounds like version 13 is setting us up for that future.
Exactly. This update gives us a peek at what's possible. And it shows how fast this technology is improving. And with those dot updates, we can expect even more improvements in the near future.
This is definitely an exciting time to be following all of this, but like you said before, it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the bigger picture, the social and ethical stuff too.
That's right. We need to be asking tough questions. How do we make sure self-driving cars are used safely and responsibly? How do we deal with potential problems like people losing their jobs or someone hacking into a car?
And how do we make sure these changes benefit everyone, not just a small group of people?
Exactly. These are conversations that everyone needs to be a part of. Policymakers, business leaders, regular people. The future of transportation is something we'll create together.
So it's not just about watching what happens, it's about getting involved, asking questions, and being a part of the solution.
Absolutely. The decisions we make today will determine what the future looks like.
Wow. That's something for all of us to think about. This has been an awesome deep dive into Tesla's version 13 and the future of driving.
It's been great talking about this with you. It's always fun to explore these complicated topics and think about what they mean for the world.
To all our listeners, keep learning, keep asking questions, and be a part of this conversation. The road to a self-driving future is one we're all on together.
And who knows what exciting things are coming next.
That's right. Stay curious, stay informed, and buckle up. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of tech and innovation. Until then, drive safe